Money Personal Finance Podcast. I'm David Pratt, along with the president of Everything Financial, Peter Trzecki. On Season 2, Episode 5, we're going to go over the 10 key questions on the differences between fee-based financial planning and a commission-based advisor. Peter, first of all, why is that so important to know?
Well, Dave, good afternoon. You need to know what you're paying for, what you're getting for your money. A lot of people don't even know there is a difference between fee-based, commission-based, because it's got this veil of secrecy over it. We're going to try and make it simple with really the 10 kind of top 10 things, if you will, and the differences between the two, and really just teach people out there who are watching or listening the questions they need to ask and what the major basic differences are, so you know what you're getting for your money.
Well, let's start number 1 in the top 10. What items pay commission to the advisor? Let's start there.
Okay, let's keep that simple. The items that actually pay commission to an advisor would be any type of insurance. So you're buying life insurance, critical illness, or disability insurance. Those pay commissions, and different types of policies, depending on the type, pay different rates of commissions. But it's not just commissions. A lot of times the advisor can get a bonus on that commission depending on the contract they have with their supplier. And there's nothing wrong with that. You should just be able to ask, what's your commission? What's your bonus? So we've got the insurance, that's number 1. Mortgages pay commission. Now, on this one, there can be a huge difference, as we talked about last season when we had Vitri Trong on, and he'll be on again this season talking about mortgages. But those have huge different rates of commission. So again, asking the difference is important because they really don't have to be disclosed. And the big one, the one we always talk about, is mutual funds. Now, mutual funds have different rates of commission. But not only that, bankers and mutual fund salespeople get paid differently on different types. In other words, certain banks or mutual fund companies have proprietary products, so their own labeled mutual funds. XYZ Bank may have an XYZ mutual fund, and they're paid bigger commissions, bigger bonuses. But here's what's been going on lately. They also get, which is, there's nothing, again, wrong with this. It's just a case of disclosure is what we're really all about, and transparency. There's this thing called trailer fees, which we'll talk about going on here with some of the points we're going to make. But a lot of times they're disclosing trailer fees as the only commission, or they're even disclosing trailer fees as your only fee. It's just not the case. So we'll go into the bit of the differences in those things. So those are the major things in the financial planning world when you're putting a financial plan together that you should know you're paying for and that have different levels of commission.
So how does fee for service really work? Maybe we should take that next step.
Well, fee for service is quite a bit different. There's a few different models, which we'll get into, but the basic part here on number 2 on fee for service financial planning, you could literally go to your registered financial planner and say, I want you to build me a financial plan, if that's what his or her firm does. And they can just say, no problem, Mr. or Mrs. Client, we will charge you X, whatever, different. I've seen lots of different fees and that's okay. But they say, we will charge you a fee. We will build you a plan. We will hand it to you with recommended strategies you should follow. They don't represent any product. They don't supply any product. They just go, we're going to give you this plan. You take it away and you decide where you want to fill the product shelf or where you want to fill the strategy. Oh, you need this type of mortgage. You'll go search for yourself to your own broker or, to a mortgage company or your bank or whomever. You'll go, I need this much of life insurance and this much disability insurance. I'll go find someone to sell me that product. So you're paying someone for advice on an hourly rate or a flat fee. They're building you a plan, and then it's up to you to walk away and execute the plan and put the strategies in place.
Okay.
So you know exactly what you're getting, and you know what you're getting for it, but it does involve some discipline from you afterwards to go and put the whole product together.
And that's kind of the point I want to make here is that, how do you know that you're really getting your money's worth here if so much of that responsibility is on you?
Well, you're dealing with someone who's doing fee for service. check. You're usually going to meet someone like that through referral from someone else who has
Okay.
used that person before a lot of times, but they really don't have theoretically a vested interest in pushing a product. They're
Okay.
more pushing a solution for you. And really, if you go see an RFP, a registered financial planner, I mean, that's like having a PhD in financial planning with that designation that they've achieved.
Yeah.
And they have
Yeah.
to act as a fiduciary. They really have to act in your best interest. That's their mandate. That's what they've sworn to do. And there's a lot of them around the country. And if you find one of those people, they're going to do the right job for you, or they wouldn't have that designation and they wouldn't have achieved that designation. Because the interesting thing is, they have to do a real financial plan, even though RFP, not play on words there, but they have to do a real financial plan and get it approved by a board of their peers before they can earn that designation. So, to earn that designation, they really know what they're doing and they're putting a plan together for you. And again, they're trying to find a solution and give you good independent advice, not, just say they're an advisor or a financial planner.
Yeah.
I'm getting so sick of the term because everyone's trying to use the term and
Yeah.
hijack the term advisor these days in some big companies, but they're not selling you something.
Okay.
They're advising on a strategy.
So there's some trust there.
Oh,
That's the
absolutely.
that's the key word. Yeah. And that's really the point that I was trying to make here, because that really gets down to what we're talking about in terms of financial planning fees. I mean, now we're getting into the money and how the money gets moved around. Okay, are these tax deductible? Let's start there.
No, financial planning fees, or you go drop 3,500 or 5 grand
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, they're 7,500. It depends on obviously the cost on how complex of plan you're getting too. But those fees are not tax deductible if they're done that way. So you cannot go say, I'd like a financial plan, pay your 5 grand, just to use a number, really doesn't matter, but whatever that
Okay.
number is,
Sure.
you might do 4 or 5 meetings in putting the plan together because it is pretty complex. You walk away with a plan, but you've got a bill to pay, which is fine. You're getting a good quality plan 99 times out of 100, but there's no tax deduction on it. And that's a problem. So the plan may present ways for you to save on taxes, which is great, because that's the best way to get ahead in life is don't give it to the government in the first place. But because we know I love government.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Me
I think
too.
I just threw up in my mouth saying that, Dave. Sorry. Hang on a sec.
Okay.
Okay, I got the taste out of my mouth now.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, bad taste. Leaves a bad taste. But
Sure.
really,
I'm with you.
you can't write it off though. But you know what?
No.
You're getting a good quality plan, and you just have to look at it as an expense if you do it that way.
Okay, so take another glass of water, because here we go to the next step here. Okay, because this confuses me a lot here. And there's a lot of things that do, but this one really kind of gets to me. Okay. Okay, what is a hybrid fee?
Ah,
Hybrid fee. I mean, this is again, you're talking a different lingo. I'm not even sure. Is this English? I'm not sure, but
it,
a hybrid fee for this service plan.
well, everyone
Talk
wants
to me.
hybrids these days. Of course, this has nothing to do with a car or
Okay.
gas and batteries or whatever you want to call it, or but
No.
a hybrid fee, and this is really becoming
Okay.
very popular for people to look out there.
Okay.
You can go to your registered financial planner, and they can say, "Look, we'll give you a couple choices here. We will build a plan. Give us your credit card at the end of the day, and you can't
Yeah.
tax deduct the fee, or." You can build a plan, and they will also find the solutions for you with products they represent to put the plan in place. So they are providing products, they
Okay.
are providing strategies. One of the differences is though with the hybrid, and so what you're paying for, they're getting paid. So
Okay.
what you need to watch is that with a hybrid plan is, are you paying them to do the plan, or are they collecting some sort of revenue in their recommendations to do the plan? And the difficulty is, or the thing you got to weed out, if you will, is that you're not double dipping. I mean, or they're not double
Okay.
dipping. Sorry. What I mean by that is you go in and they make great recommendations for you for a mortgage, possibly your investments, insurance, whatever the case may be. So they're getting paid, and they will have to disclose this. but you're not also paying them a fee. You get what I mean? So they're not
Sure.
collecting twice. It's really one or the other with the hybrid plan, and you can choose what to do. And that's kind of a good way to look at it, because if you're going to be doing business with them anyways, which is the case for a lot of people, and you want them to put the plan in place and guide you through the strategies and the solutions, which can take time to do. You can't do them all at once. So instead of writing them a check and you disappearing, they're representing some of those products and they're getting paid that way instead. So instead of collecting a fee from you, they're collecting a fee from the company. So maybe in part of your solution there's a mortgage. Well, they're getting paid to represent or provide the mortgage solution. So that's how you're paying them for the plan. Or they're giving you investment solutions and they're getting paid from the investment company, what's called a referral fee to refer you to that company. And that's how you're paying for the plan. And that's a good way to go, because you're getting something for your money, and that's key.
Which is again what we always talk about. Again, it's to find the truth, follow the money, and that's exactly what you're saying. Just follow the money, and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll sleep at night. Okay, but again, when you talk about the services, and let's get into this quite a bit because this is really important. What should you expect for your fees? I mean, where's the payoff?
Well, and here's the big thing where a lot of people don't know what they're getting. So if you're doing
Yeah,
this type of system, the hybrid, if you will, or where
yeah,
where the advisor is collecting a fee. So say they're collecting a fee of, you know, 1% or whatever it is from the investment company, and they're collecting commission and a bonus from the insurance company if there's different insurances you need, or they're collecting something from the mortgage company. What you should expect for your money, because they're not just referring a company out because they have good looks and charm and it's a nice company. You want to get something for your
okay,
money
yeah,
if they're being
yeah,
paid. So here's what you should expect: a full, transparent delivery of the financial plan, and full transparency on every fee they get, for starters. And
yeah,
as your assets get higher, or as you have more assets, and there's different thresholds, obviously, you should really expect more from them. So you should expect a full financial plan. You should expect to have a complete review of that financial plan once a year. Now, that doesn't mean reviewing how's my investments? What did I have last year? What do I have this year? That's
yeah.
part of it. But reviewing the plan to make sure you're on track, because as we see nowadays, things change mighty quick, Dave. The
Yes,
world is
yes, they
changing
do.
faster than we can keep
Yeah,
up. Your life changes faster than you can keep up with it. So being able, for your fee or what they're collecting in a referral fee or a commission, being able to go back to that advisor and review the plan once a year, or maybe once every 2 years, or when there's a significant material change in your financial situation, and say, you know what, I'm not sure I'm on track anymore. Can you let me know? So you should expect
yeah.
that for your fee. You can possibly expect to have them do your taxes for you in house. A lot of firms do that because
Okay.
so much of the financial planning is the tax planning, the tax deductibility of certain things. That's key. So maybe they have an in-house tax department. Now, maybe you pay for that, but as you get more assets, maybe you don't. Legal help, like referral to, maybe they have a will department, or they have a connection with someone who does wills and power of attorneys. So the more you have, the more of these things should be covered. An estate plan, there's one I didn't talk about yet. An estate plan.
Sure.
So I'll give you an example. The way to look at it, maybe for you, the people who are a little not sure about this stuff, to do a financial plan realistically, in time, effort put in by a firm, you're talking significant people hours. We can't say man hours anymore, but you're talking, their staff and everything else going into this. It could
Yeah,
be anywhere from
yeah,
$3,500 to probably $7,500 to do a plan. That's significant. But if you're paying them a lot more than that in commissions and referral fees, shouldn't you get more for your money? So realistically, the more money you have, there's got to be a threshold where eventually they're covering a lot of these other things, like the taxes, the notary, say, to update your will, or an estate plan. They're helping with that. So the more you have, I mean, it sounds silly, but the more you should get for your money, because
Yeah.
there's a threshold where, let's use the 1% for just easy math for people today. So 1% on $750,000 of investments is $7,500. There you go. But if you have 2 million, well, granted, they probably don't get paid the same for when you have that much in assets, but at that point, it doesn't cost more, really, not probably not significantly more, unless your case is extremely complicated, which can happen, but it really doesn't
Yeah.
cost a ton more for a $2 million plan, if you have $2 million versus the person with 500 to 750,000. So it does hit a stage where, what else am I getting for my money? But the other thing you can ask them about what you're getting for your money is, how many times can I come back and see you in a year? How many, times can I email you? How many questions can I ask, et cetera? Because, maybe the firm does so much for someone with only 250,000, and maybe you have to do part fees and you have to pay them part for your plan. I can't say what different companies do, but there's nothing wrong with that if they're getting paid something and you have to kick in a little, because everyone should be paid fairly for their time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're getting a good, unbiased financial plan, then you probably don't begrudge anyone collecting a fair fee
Yeah.
for doing it. But all those extras we talk about are really good things to be getting for your money. So, there's a lot of transparency, a lot of independence go into it, and they're really trying to provide you a solution, not just sell you a product.
Peter, here's the final thing. I do want to touch on this because, you and I have known each other for so long. I mean, there's an element of trust that I have when I talk to you. I just do. We're friends and all of that goes along with it. How important is it to connect that sort of relationship, that trust element, that I naturally connect to a friendship? Or am I being naive here?
No, you're not being naive. That's what happens. And I've been doing this a long 31 years, Dave. Well, showing my age now.
Yes.
31 years. I
No.
started when I was 3, apparently.
Okay.
Couldn't count very good
I
then,
would have
but
been two. Okay.
no.
Okay. Okay.
So the trust goes into it, because what happens is, over that time, whatever your time is, 5
Yeah.
years in the business,
Yeah.
15 years in the business, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. You learn a
Right.
lot over that time, but a lot of the clients start out as clients, then become friends as you go on.
Yeah.
So the trust really develops over time. And I know a lot of people I sit with, and I go out for dinner with, and I do things with, and we talk about how we met. And we met through me doing a plan, but you end up becoming friends. And then you sometimes see, oh yeah, right, I'm your financial advisor at the same time. I'm your registered financial
Yeah.
planner as well.
Yeah.
And that's truly what happened. And you're right. You and I met on some sports station way back when
Yes,
I
we
started
did.
doing a business update that I was asked to do
Yeah.
on your station. And
That's
so
right.
the client relationship came first, and
Yeah.
the trust and the friendship relationship developed later. And what's the best way to find someone who handles your money? Because remember, it is
Yeah.
your money. Then someone like a family member or a close friend who has dealt with that person for a long time and
Yeah.
really has a lot of faith and trust in that person. And that is key, because it is your money.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel that bond, that connection, or more importantly, as you've said, Dave,
Yeah.
if you don't feel that trust, there's nothing wrong with looking elsewhere. And the person shouldn't take it personally, but you've just had to have that relationship. And I can like say without a doubt, there is clients and me who have parted ways because we just didn't have that connection. And
Wow.
I'd rather they do that. I'd rather they part ways, and because the most important thing is their happiness, their success. It's their money. And I know it sounds a little corny because the show is called Your Money, but as you
Yeah.
know, it was really easy for us to develop the name for a podcast, Your Money, because you know me. I've been saying it for 10 years, going, your money, it's your money.
Yeah.
It's your, I always tell people, it's your money. You decide.
Yeah.
And that's true. It is your money. And yes, you need guidance with your money. You need some strategies on what to do, but in the end, it's your money. So actually, getting
Yeah.
back to what we talked about, the financial planner giving you different ideas with products. How do you know they're being trustworthy, even if they're collecting that fee? So you're doing the fee-based thing here, or like we said, they're collecting a referral fee, or they're getting a commission on their insurance, on
Yeah.
the insurance, or whatever the case may be. And you go, well, how do I know they're really representing me independently? Well, maybe they give you 2 to 3 different options to reach your goals. And they're all different. So they're not just going, buy this, buy this, buy this. The other way to know it's truly independent is look for a registered financial planner doing a plan. And we've talked about this in previous episodes, who brings in a portfolio manager. So they're not selling you a product like mutual funds.
Yeah.
They're bringing in a management company. Now, granted, they're getting that 1% fee and they're disclosing it, which is the most important part. It's not about fees, it's about transparency. They're disclosing the fee, but someone else is making the recommendation. So what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, and Dave's going, what are you talking about chickens and eggs for? It's not breakfast right now. But the plan came first,
yeah.
And then the portfolio management company then develops the investment plan to fit the financial plan. And that's where you know you're getting true fiduciary duties, which are in your best interest, not the advisor's best interest.
Yeah. And then you take them to a Canucks game, and then you find out what they're really made of. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Canucks games. Well, hey, we got 2 teams in the city kind of now.
Okay.
Well, Abbotsford and Vancouver. Both named the Canucks. So I look at it this way. We got a 50-50 chance of one of them being successful, or a 100% chance of both of them being in the toilet. And right now, it's the latter.
Yeah, I can feel that flush. Here we go. All right, let's move along here. Let's talk some money here. So mutual funds. Okay. And a mutual fund, you got fees, you got portfolio management, you got all these different things okay. Explain to me how fees differ from the fee in the service model, because again, I'm already confused.
Yeah. Mutual funds have embedded fees. There's lots of different types of mutual funds, or what they call them, different classes with different fee structures. There's different types of commissions on mutual funds. The unfortunate thing, and again, I'm not picking on the companies, even though people think I am, but there's not full transparency yet in Canada like there is in other countries, US, UK, just to name our 2 closest ones, where, hard to believe, their level of transparency is way ahead of ours. But in Canada, if you're dealing with your money, and we're going to talk about this in a couple episodes from now, would you want to deal with a fiduciary? Someone, and we'll get into what fiduciary means, but the basic gist of it is someone whose total responsibility is full disclosure to you. They're looking out for you, the consumer, your best interest, not mine, or not the other financial planner you're dealing with. They have to look after you first, and they have to disclose every single fee. And that's the thing. A portfolio manager, the biggest difference is, one, there's active management. They're managing the portfolio to fit your plan, not just selling a basket of mutual funds that look good on a spreadsheet. And that's not always the case, but unfortunately, that's a lot of times the case. Or they're not selling, we talked about commissions earlier. They're not selling the ones that they're getting a better bonus on because they're proprietary to their company. That's the one thing. Here's the big thing, though. We talked about earlier, one of your points being, your questions being, that financial planning fees aren't tax deductible. Well, not if you just write them a check. But say you the advisor is getting paid a referral fee, this 1% we use as an example, from the the portfolio management company. And they're using that to build you a plan. Again, full disclosure, that's the important part. But if in your plan you have investments that are what are called non-registered, or another term is taxable. In other words, just like cash investments that are not in a TFSA, not in an RSP, so not in a registered product, they're in a non-registered or taxable product. Those management fees are fully tax deductible. So let's use the 1%, and let's use a $250,000 investment. So that's $2,500. So there's a significant portion of your financial plan that we said earlier was $5,000. Lots of numbers being thrown around here. But all of a sudden, that $2,500 is tax deductible. So now you can get a financial plan and actually tax deduct the fee if you follow the portfolio management model. And anytime you can put tax refunds in your hand, you're further ahead, because it takes the pressure off of needing to make money, because you're getting a tax-free tax savings at the same time. So
Sure.
A lot of words there, but
But
that's a
isn't
way
that
to kind of do the financial plan and put some money in your pocket at the same time.
so? Again, getting back to this tax treatment of each system. I mean, is that really what you're getting at right now? Is that this tax treatment is really a key element here?
Absolutely. When you can find ways to build a plan, whatever the plan is, however the
Yeah.
plan is built, but put taxes in your pocket, think about it. If you can get refunds or considerable tax savings through a plan, it lessens the demand on your rate of return. So, you can get further ahead and you don't need to take on as much volatility. Now, we would all love 7, 8, 9, 10% rates of return. I know that. But in the last year, in 2020 and 21, the markets after COVID have been insane.
Oh,
That's not going to continue. I saw someone the other day,
oh,
and a person quoted 18% that this is what you're going to earn because they earned 18% last year. That's ludicrous. I
yeah,
mean, you
nuts.
want to go extremely conservative when figuring out a plan. So if you can go really conservative, lower volatility, the more likelihood your plan is to come true, take on less risk. But if you can add tax savings and tax refunds through deduction of fees to that plan, that's one way to treat your plan. That's phenomenal. Look at TFSAs within your plan and tax free growth. That's a great way to build your plan. So anything you can do that put taxes in your hand, you enhance where you are in that plan because it's free money in the sense that it's not taxable, and we're not giving those filthy. Those politicians. You know the people
Yeah,
I'm
those
talking
guys.
about.
Yeah,
You're not
exactly.
putting
Yeah.
more money in their pocket, making it harder for you to get that money back, and that is key.
So to move along here,
What did I say?
because we
Something
could
funny
spend
about a
all,
politician
you
or
know, we,
negative? No, not me.
yeah,
Never.
we could we could spend all day with this one. But anyway, let's to move along here. Let's get onto the mortgage. All right. And how does that mortgage now fit into this fee for service model? How does that work?
The great question, Dave. And I know we're going to get Vitri on again this season to talk in more
Yes.
detail about mortgages, which will be great. But a mortgage, your biggest debt could also be your house being your biggest asset, could be a key part of your financial plan. And look for a financial planner, find that registered financial planner who's really an expert in making your mortgage tax deductible. When you can make one of your biggest assets and your biggest financial commitments tax deductible, that could throw a lot of money in your pocket. And not all mortgages work for that type of plan. You want to have something where there's not a lot of fees. It's not locked in. Again, flexibility to make change as the market changes. But talk to a registered financial planner when you're doing your due diligence and interviewing them. Don't give them these solutions. See what solutions they bring to the table. And if you're seeing and I just read a great article about this, about people trying to abuse the term financial
Yeah.
advisor.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to hijack it and say we're a financial advisor. I mean, there should be a term called a financial solutions analyst, because you
Okay.
want someone who's not advising and just giving advice. You want someone giving you solutions, because advice usually means selling a product. And
Yeah.
go look for firms where they're looking at the big picture. They're looking at solution based financial planning, not sales based financial planning. And a mortgage is a key part of the solution. And if you can start to make that really big asset you have
Yeah.
tax deductible, that's going to be a huge part of your day to day plan. That's key. Again, more money in your pocket, less money in the government's pocket, and that's always a good thing. Let's
Yeah.
not give CRA more money
Yeah.
to away. I mean, let's follow the rules. I'm very big on that. You know that, Dave. I'm big on not let's not even push the rules. Let's follow the rules, but let's go to a firm, find someone who knows the rules and put them in place. And then,
Yeah.
and these plans aren't for everyone, because not everyone fits into that mold where you can do these things. But if it's fitting for you to have this as an option, and there's free money out there, or tax refunds that you fit into, you want to know about them for sure.
Yeah. Next question. How do taxes and wills and those two items work? I mean, connect the dots here for me.
Yeah, when you're doing your plan with the advisor, you really want to try and find a firm that sees the importance of a will and an estate plan, and building the plan to lower your taxes for the future. And sometimes we see little things that can be tweaked that make such a difference. So we'll give you everyone out there. There's a free, easy example, and you'll, when I
Yeah.
say this, you're going to go, "Well, that's obvious." Not so much, because I see this one happen all the time. You're in
Okay.
retirement years. You
Yeah.
have a RIF or some type of RIF, which is, here we go with these acronyms again, Dave. I know you love these,
Yeah.
which is an RSP or
Yeah.
or a locked in RSP or something like that. So some sort of registered plan that you're now collecting income from, a RIF, a LIF, whatever the case may be. But you forgot, or your advisor neglected to tell you to put a beneficiary on it, AKA your spouse. So look on the beneficiary line and make sure it says Brenda. Well, if everyone out there is
Okay.
going, "Well, I'm not married to a
Sure.
Brenda." I'm talking about Dave, people, not Bentley
Yeah.
the dog, Dave. You got to name
Not
Brenda.
okay.
So you put it to
It's
Brenda.
got to be Brenda.
Brenda.
Okay.
So
Okay.
your
Okay.
RSPs or RIF in retirement
Yeah.
pass to Brenda or your spouse with no tax consequences.
Yeah.
Well, there's an easy savings. If you
Yeah.
name, and it passes right away, get the big one here, without passing through probate, they get the money. And there's no tax because they're your spouse. There's only tax when they start to spend it. So that's an easy thing when talking about a will, talking about an estate plan, to make sure you've looked after those little things. But here's another one. Say, God forbid, the spouse is predeceased you, and
Yeah.
you have to figure out who to leave it to. And just by naming your children or named beneficiary, even though, yes, the RIF will be taxed to your estate, you save on probate by going directly to them. Yes, the tax still has to be paid, but better to bypass probate and save some fees than just pay that money away out of your estate. So when you're setting up your financial plan, your estate plan is part and parcel of this at the same time. Making sure simple things like you have beneficiaries on your life insurance. Go to your products you have through your employer. You maybe have a group RSP plan at work or life insurance at work. Make sure all these things have named beneficiaries so that we know where the money is going. And for gosh sakes, and I know we're going to get Bart Aldrich on here again this season, talking about wills and power of attorneys.
Yeah.
Make sure that will is up to date, because when you go into the financial planner's office and you're working on your plan, and your registered financial planner says, "Do you have a will?" "Oh yeah, we got a will." "And who's the guardian of your children?" And you go, "Oh, my aunt so and so, who's now been gone for 15 years, God forbid." Or and you've left everything to whomever, who unfortunately you don't even know anymore. They were a longtime friend who you moved around and you lost track of. Who knows?
Yeah.
So you can always have a will. Just make sure the will's up to date and has some of these key things. So when we talked about earlier on in this episode, Dave, about updating your plan and talking to your registered financial planner, maybe every year, 2 years, or what did I say? When there's a material change in the family situation or your financial situation and you review the plan, not a bad idea to review the will at the same time. Making sure these little things are done. And that goes back to one of your points earlier of what do you get for your money? You should get someone doing a check on you, the advisor's job, the financial planner's job, to make sure these things are up to date. So they're not just left, floating around in the wind, and they're not talked about. And all of a sudden you realize, oh crap, I've never done that yet. I haven't done that yet. And that's important to make sure it's all up to date.
And in summary, I mean, basically, you get the same from both. If you do your diligence, your homework, and all the things that you've just talked about, you get the result. Correct?
Absolutely. So we can use this time just to summarize all those points too. But talking to the registered financial planner, and really, how does this go? I mean, to go back to the beginning of our podcast here, is it really goes by first doing your due diligence and finding someone you connect with. You should always be able to get an introductory meeting without pressure, without
Yeah.
this hammer over your head, like, so you're going with me? Are you, are you doing this? You're doing that. There should be never really talk about product sales in this relationship, right, Dave? I mean, it really should be solution based. And in your first meeting, your registered financial planner, I mean, it's all different. So I'm not saying this has to be the way. I'm more just speaking from my own experience. But in the beginning, it should really be you talking about you and what you want out of this relationship. So you, the consumer or the purchaser, if you will. And it should be the registered financial planner talking about the process. What are the things they do? What kind of products do they represent, if any? Are they just a flat fee, pay me a check, I'll build you a plan, you walk away? So that fee for
Yeah.
service. Are they a commission based thing where they sell products? Or are they kind of that hybrid? Well, you can choose option B or C. Let's just say A is commission, which is fine. B is a flat fee, and C is kind of the mixture where they're getting paid some money from these companies and they're using that money to give you a plan. Because, and this happened the other day in a case that I saw third party on, that I was asked just to comment on in something on the airwaves, where a company wanted to charge a fee, a 0.75%, I think it was, or maybe it was 1%. I think it was 0.75%. And again, nothing wrong with that if it's disclosed, except here's the thing. Get this one, Dave.
Okay.
They didn't want the fee to be disclosed because they were really a commission based salesperson who didn't want to provide any solution, no plan, but they wanted to refer the portfolio manager to the client. So for that referral fee, and we talked about the referral fee, again, there's
Wow.
nothing wrong with that, but they didn't want it disclosed. So they wanted to refer the person and collect the commission like a lot of mutual funds, but not do a plan. And to their credit, the portfolio management company said, we won't do that. We're not going to basically do an end run, a football reference there. We're not going to do
Yep.
an end run on the client, pay you a fee just for saying, hey, here you go deal with these guys. And you don't provide them a product. Because here's what's happening in the business, in the financial business, which is great. These portfolio companies, again, are fiduciaries. Their responsibility, first and foremost, is to you, the client. Number one.
Yep.
So they want to have full, above board transparency, full disclosure. They were being asked to do something in favor of the salesperson slash advisor, not in the best interest of the client. And they just won't do that. And this is why I say, and I know this is a little, and people get sick of me, maybe they don't bang on this drum, but if your advisor is not dealing with a portfolio management company, ask them why. Here's the other one. If your advisor is dealing and providing mutual fund product solutions, they are getting a trailer fee. A trailer fee, it may be called something different. They might be getting a commission too, but let's just deal with the trailer fee. A trailer fee on a front end mutual fund. And remember I said earlier, Dave, there's different classes of mutual funds.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
little letters after them, and I don't want to get into that because that's just confuses a consumer. But if they're going to just collect a front end, a trailer fee, that's all the person's going to collect. Well, then it's your right to say, how are you getting paid? Oh, you collect a trailer fee. How much is your trailer fee? Oh, my trailer fee is 1%. Great. No problem. What am I getting for my 1%? And if all you're getting is the privilege of them saying, you get these mutual funds from this company that I'm recommending, like, get your shoes on and walk out the door. Like,
Yeah.
what, that's a privilege to you? Like, that doesn't it's never made sense to me. And this is why I've been working so hard at kind of saying financial planning, find a registered financial planner for years, is like, get something for your money. Like, the financial planning world is theoretically very intangible. There's nothing you're really getting for a product. It's more theory and strategies and solutions, right, Dave? But
Yes.
if you're getting a plan and you're getting ongoing service and you're getting your will and your taxes done, etc., then you've made financial planning tangible. You're actually getting something concrete for your money. You're getting updates, you're getting guidance, you're getting a new strategy, you're getting a new plan when you need it. So you had a plan developed last year and COVID came and the world got crapped on and
Yeah.
could say coughed on, I guess. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden you got a buyout from your company that you just thought, geez, this is too good to be true. I can't, I got to take advantage of this. Allows me to start, as we say at Everything Financial, start leading the work optional lifestyle and do some fun. Well, then all of a sudden you need a new plan. You should be able to get that from your advisor because they've already put all the time into building the initial plan. Now it's time for the new plan or the remodeled plan, if you will, the upgrade, whatever you want to call it. And those are the type of things you should get for your money. But really, you need complete access to your registered financial planner, their team, and their firm, whether it's tax advice, maybe advice from a notary or a lawyer who's with them or they, works with them, or also just advice on, geez, here's a simple one. They put in a new RSP plan at work, and here's my choices of what to do, and I have no clue what to do. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Jane and John Doe, let's sit down and see how those changes affect that plan we put in place 8 months ago or 18 months ago or whatever the case may be. How is that going to help you achieve your goal down the road? And that's the type of things you should get from your registered financial planner and your plan. When your financial situation changes, pick up the phone or send them an email and say, we need to meet because my situation's changed and I want to see how this affects my plan. And that's what you should get for your money.
Safe to say, tough to make, good decisions, especially when you don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I got to touch on this quickly now. If people want to learn more or get a second opinion, then okay, what should they do? Let's get to the answer here.
Well, start going on the internet because people see this from all over the place. Search for, first off, and I believe this wholeheartedly, search for registered financial planners. Go into, here we go with acronyms, IAFP. So the Independent Association of Financial Planners, which you're a member of if you're a registered financial planner website. Look for financial planners and go talk to a few of them. Or, gosh, this sounds self-serving. Go to www.everythingfinancial.com and look for one of our offices in your area because we've got a couple in the lower mainland area, Vancouver. We've got one in the States. We've got one on Vancouver Island. But we get clients from all over, from Alberta, Ontario, all different parts of BC. And nowadays, with the advantage of Zoom type applications and different online things, you can just about do the full plan. Really, you can, and never sit face to face in front of the person. But it may take you a little longer, obviously, to develop that relationship through the computer. But if you're in an area where you just don't have a lot of choices to go to someone, then go online and make that connection, start asking the questions. That's the key.
Yeah. But get that second opinion.
Absolutely.
That's the key
and if someone starts asking you, let me see your statements. Let's see what kind of money you made last year. If they're leading with one of those questions, just you're being sold. Because guess what? Anyone can get a computer and find a better basket of mutual funds or investments to beat what you did last year. But guess what? That was last year. Doesn't matter. The key is, I don't know this, but I'm just about positive that no one out there has a crystal ball that works any better than mine, which is, to say the least, it doesn't. So what happened last year is irrelevant. As they say, you gotta look at when tuna's on sale and stock up on lots of tuna. So past performance is not for sale. You can't get it because it already happened. Look at a portfolio manager who's, as part of working in conjunction with your registered financial planner, knows your plan, then builds the portfolio, gives you that opinion, and they say, look, Tuna's on sale. Time to put your investments in this because it's a good day right now. That's what active management is, looking for those deals and looking for things that can happen to enhance and complement your plan, not selling you a product because it was really good last year. Last year doesn't matter. What happens from now going forward is what matters.
What a great way to wrap it up. Thanks, Peter, as always. I'll tell you what, episode 5, I learned a ton here. We're going to be back very soon with episode 6. And I do want to, again, thank you very much for sharing all of this with us. And I'll tell you this, if you want to get more, I mean, go to your podcast platform, YouTube, all of it. And if you've got a question for Peter, just go to yourmoney@everythingfinancial.com. Peter, I'll talk to you again real soon. That's not a promise. It's a threat.
Thanks, Dave, for looking after this, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
You got it.